All right, so I recently purchased a 27-foot Fountain Fever, and I really didn't know anything about these older power boats other than they look cool and that I wanted one. There were a couple guys local to me that had them, and I was like, yep, that's what I want. So I was looking around, and there really wasn't a lot of information out there on these late 90s, early 2000s boats. And when I got it, it's not like it was hard to learn, but there just wasn't a lot of information out there on how to operate these boats and um, just what the controls do. The boat that I'd had previous, I had a 20-foot Baja. Um, it did not have tabs. It obviously had trim, but it's a totally different animal. The Fountain has a step haul. Um, it's got the big K-plane tabs, and yeah, it's just a totally different boat. So, anyways, I wanted to just go over some of the stuff on how to operate this boat and how it is a lot different than if you're wanting to get in one to one and you're coming from a smaller boat, you know, uh, or like a pontoon or any kind of outboard or anything. These boats are a little bit different. So hopefully this helps someone. Turn that fan off. All right. I wanted to explain a little bit on the Fountain what the how the tabs, how significant the tabs affect everything about how you operate the boat. We're in my barn now, so and uh, another thing that I wanted to talk about was how much different boats are than cars, because I've got this is a turbo 5.3. Uh, this is has a 5.3 in it. So like I'm familiar with cars. I've done cars and street racing and all that for a long time. But when I got this is the first boat I bought. This is a 20-foot Baja, and it's for sale. Um, and it was a good boat, but the lake that we boat on pretty much every weekend is pretty rough. And man, this thing, it's fine if the water's smooth, but it kind of beats you up pretty bad um, on the weekends. So um, I, like I said, a couple buddies of mine had fountains, or well, not buddies, but I met them through boating over the last several seasons, and they just I just like the way they looked, I guess. And it's a hot rod powerboat, old school. Like that's just what I liked, I guess. But I didn't know much about them outside of that. So, anyways, this let me zoom out here a little bit. So this boat, the Baja, does not have tabs. It obviously has trim, but driving this boat, it jumps up on plane quick, 3-4 seconds, and you're off, and you can just floor it and trim it up and whatever. It's pretty easy. And this boat has a cammed small block in it. Do like 50 mile an hour easy. I think I've seen like 58 before. So, anyways, with the Fountain, these are your tabs, and I don't know if you can tell. I should put a tape on them, but they're pretty. I mean, they're probably, I don't know, 18, 20 inches or so. But that is everything with this boat. You can't get it on plane without them. It controls the angle of the bow. So like if the water's really choppy, you can actually put these down a little bit and it'll push the bow of the boat into, basically push it down, and you know, it kind of just like cuts through the waves. Now it's a lot slower. You want them all the way up if you're trying to, you know, get like top speed out of it. But these things are pretty significant. So these are also your brakes, basically. So when you cut the throttle in this small boat, it pretty much, it slows down and stops quick. If you've got this boat, if you're really moving and you've got it up on plane and you're up on the step, like, and you back off the throttle, it just keeps going. I mean, it takes forever to slow down. So, and the step is, let's see if I can slide through here. So it has a stepped hull. I know that some of these didn't. This boat is a 2000. I know that some of the earlier ones maybe didn't, but you can kind of see there how the air gets under the back, this back section of the hull, and it helps it get out of the water a little bit more, for higher speed, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's just so that it has less of the hull in the water. So you've got a tab on each side. That can also lean the boat one way or the other, if you need to. And then obviously you've got your trim on your drive, but I don't even touch the trim until I'm up on plane. Tabs are up most of the way, and really, unless you're wanting to do like top speed or something, you can run the trim, just bump it up a little bit from all the way in, and the boat cruises just fine. All of these have hydraulic steering, so there's hydraulic cylinders on each side of the drive, which is, it feels similar to a boat like that just has, I don't know, I guess manual steering more or less. It just got one cylinder inside the transom, that moves the drive. So anyway, now with the fountains, so I know that Reggie Fountain, or there was another test driver that drove these boats when they were new, and they would give you a performance report. And I got a performance report, the original performance report with this boat, and it tells you what the drive is set at, and it tells you what the tabs are set at different speeds. And I can post, I'll put a picture of the performance report for this boat in the video. I'll just post a picture of it. But yeah, so it says, so that you can kind of replicate the top speed. Another thing with this boat said that it topped out at 79 miles per hour. This boat will not do 79 miles an hour. I found out recently that that was based off of the speedometer on the dash, which is not accurate. It doesn't work anymore, but just in general, boat speedometers are not accurate. So this boat GPS, it tops out at like 65 miles an hour. I think I've done 66 and change before, but yeah, it's like between 64 and 66, with the trim and tabs set, where Reggie Fountain tested them out. Now, I have a video with a GoPro on the side, on the glass right here, and I'm hoping while I'm driving, I'm hoping, like, the audio is probably not going to be very good, just because of all the wind noise, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to see. So this is your drive, and so it was set on 5 for top speed per the performance report. So I just kind of went off of that. And then this is your tabs. And as you put them down, obviously those little markers go down. And then, you know, so you'll start with your drive at 1, which is all the way in towards the boat. And then you trim it out away from the boat, as you pick up speed. Tabs all the way down. to get this boat on plane. As you, once you feel it kind of get on plane, you can pull them up, and I'll run them about like 2 or 3, depending on how choppy the water is. But I really don't ever run them all the way up unless it is, you know, I'm trying to top the boat out. But you can kind of see what that looks like. Now, over on the other side of the dash, you've got your tab control, so that controls both tabs together, and then you've got individual controls. So that would be if you need to lean the boat one way or the other, you can use those. If you've got a heavier load on one side, or you know, whatever the case may be, if there's a big wake or something, you can adjust those. And then your drive here is just like any other boat. You've got your drive control there, and then the same thing, you've got it here on the throttle. Another thing that's different about these boats is that the shifter and the throttle are separate, which I'm still getting used to. I probably had this boat out, I don't know, 5-6 times now. And yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to. So anyway, that's that. I'll post some stuff of the boat like ripping across the water, and just like I said, hopefully the video of the that is from the GoPro you can see. Like I said, I'll post it and we'll just see how it turned out. But yeah, that's the biggest thing with these boats is the tabs and how much they affect just how the boat runs. And yeah, but I think that's it. Let's see if there's anything else with this boat I can think of. Don't fill your fuel up. Pump your fuel really slow. This is a vent. If you pump it too fast, you won't catch it in time, and it'll blow fuel out the vent and out of the fill. So that's one thing that I found out the hard way, and I'm still getting used to it because I still blow fuel out of it most of the time when I fill it up. These boats have a 58-gallon tank. I think I've put like 62 gallons in it before. But I'm really getting a feel for how much fuel it uses. I'll burn on, if I go out on a Saturday and we just cruise around and like swim most of the day, honestly, I'll burn about 20 gallons of fuel. And we go out with another couple friends of ours, and we run the boat pretty hard when we do run it, but you know, we don't, we're not out there cruising for hours on end. So these things do burn some fuel. This boat has a black 502 in it. It's stock. Yeah, like I said, it'll use about 20 gallons of fuel, and the it'll do about 65 mile an hour. I think it's a little bit faster in a little bit of chop, but I'm still getting the feel for you know, how to run it, and just I haven't really pushed it too hard in like big chop, but in smoother water, yeah, about 65 is all it's got. So anyway, yep, that's it. Okay, at the first part of this, I'm coming up on plane here. I gotta put the tabs back down there because I wasn't going quite fast enough to pull them up. It wasn't coming up on plane. Pay attention to the tabs and the trim. Okay, tabs are coming up, getting on plane. You can kind of see the RPM coming up as I run the tabs up. There we go, and tabs are all the way up. And then in just a second, I'm going to start to pull the trim down as I open the throttle. right here, I put the tabs down a little bit to about 2 to push the bow into the water and get through the waves a little bit smoother.
Ready to hammer down?
All right, watch the, so that's wide open throttle. If you watch the tack, I'm running the trim down to around 5. You can see the tack come up, and this boat will run about 4,800 RPM all in. And I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because we're just running wide open throttle for a really long time. And you can kind of see it just sits there, and about 4,800, and that's about all it'll do. That's about 65 mile an hour. Here I'm starting to slow down. I pull the drive back in towards the boat, push the tabs down just a little bit to slow down, still at wide open throttle. And then here in just a second, I'll start to back off the throttle. The tabs really slow you down more than the throttle does. Right here you can see I'm pulling the tabs down. Start to back off the throttle now. And we're really down. We're down to about 30 miles an hour now.
We went too far away.
Thanks for watching. That's all I've got. I'll upload some more on this boat for sure in the future.